Hi, my name is Nels Paulson. I'm an associate professor of sociology here at UW-Stout. I also direct the Lakes REU project, which stands for Linking Applied Knowledge and Environmental Sustainability. The idea behind it is twofold. One is to clean up the polluted waters in the Red Cedar watershed. The second part is to train undergraduates from around the country in doing research in preparation for graduate school. So we select some of the best students from around the country to work with us on research from a variety of disciplinary angles, both in the social sciences and in the natural sciences. So we have students out in rivers and lakes, as well as interviewing people and surveying people about their land use and their impact on the water, as well as how they mobilize with one another to try to solve these problems. So to highlight a few of the projects we're doing, one that I'm in charge of is on social networks of farmers. And so what we take a look at is how farmers connect to one another and how that informs their land use. So who do they talk to, who do they trust, and how do they choose to use land in certain ways that are more sustainable or less sustainable that might impact our watershed. Other projects are like our geochemistry project that's focusing on really the groundwater contributions of phosphorus pollution to the watershed. So we know a lot about the runoff from the land. What we don't know is the natural phosphorus, and so we have a lot of them taking a look at the bedrock, the contributions from below the surface to that. Other components look at, for example, the impact on businesses and the impact on the local economy from the watershed. So that's the economics components. And all of these components are working with one another to try to get a better picture from a really interdisciplinary angle on how we can solve these problems.
Hello, my name is Jonas Sorrell, and today I've been filtering samples. This morning, Austin and I went out into the field to collect an automated sampler. We've been collecting water samples from a couple of creeks up north, and we're taking these water samples, filtering out any sediments we have. We sort of dump them into the big jugs here, and then we filter them out into little centrifuge tubes.
That's some of the worst ones.
So that we can scan them for phosphorus later in a machine in the other room. As a student, this internship is pretty cool because it's giving me an opportunity to not only conduct research, but also to see if I like it. And the program itself is very neat because it's very interdisciplinary in the sense that you have people from the humanities, you have sociologists and anthropologists working with biologists and geologists like myself. So you've got a good mix of the hard sciences and then of course the social sciences. So it's pretty cool to be a part of this program, to not only work and discover what I like about research or if I don't like it, but to also know that my work has a bit of an impact on the community here and that I can actually see people that aren't a part of this program be excited about what we're doing with the lakes.
So when students get here for the REU, big component is just orienting them to the research itself. But we also try to create a sense of a research community. So we do activities that will get them connected to the watershed and to one another. So we'll take them canoeing down the Red Cedar River, get them familiar with that water. We'll take them to a farm and work with NRCS and DNR people and land conservationists for the county and have them educate the students on a lot of the basics of the land and water around the region, which also helps to form a sense that they're all working together as well. And so it's a good opportunity to gain excitement for working together as well as to get some knowledge about what the basics of the problem are.
So the other day we went out on a farm a few miles out of town just to kind of do a tour and understand what was going on, to see cows, to see row crops, to understand TM, or total maximum daily load, and best management practices. And it's kind of a unique experience for me because I come from Wisconsin and all these other people from around the country, they don't see the cows, they don't see the corn, they don't see that stuff like on a day-to-day basis. So it was fun because we all went out there and saw these cows and they were like freaking out, and I was just like, hey, it's cool, it's a cow. But and then tractor rides, stuff like that, people were going crazy. It was pretty interesting to see how different people see different tasks. So.
So the research is actually part of the fun part because it's getting your hands dirty in a couple of different ways. It's very exciting to be in the watershed or on a boat and collecting data, but it's also very exciting to be talking with people and learning more about the community. What this ends up doing for the students, though, that's more important, is that they end up seeing themselves in a new way. They gain confidence, and they also gain a stronger sense of self and the idea that they can actually do work that's going to impact the world. And this is one of the biggest shifts in identity that I think college students can go through. So I think that it's a little bit harder to capture than watching somebody go in a river and take some measurements, but it's probably the most important component is that transformation of identity.